everybody. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal Pieces. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. Thank you so much for checking out the show. Today's selection is an epic interview that we did with Dean Harrison of Australian Yowie Research. And great guy. Dean is a lot of fun to talk to. He's an incredible storyteller, but he's had some amazing experiences with researching Yowies through the past several decades of his work to try to bring the Yowie to the forefront and document that species. But this was a lot of fun to talk to Dean, but also this interview is also one of those that I kind of went, oh no. And the reason why I went, oh no, is because somehow during the course of this, and you'll see this in this segment, I managed to hit a button somehow and changed camera, not to Dean who was talking, but to me listening to Dean. So the unedited version of this clip would have been you looking at me listening to Dean, which is just about as much fun as watching paint dry or something else. So actually we kind of augmented this with some actual screenshots and captures, picture captures that were posted on Australian Yowie Research Facebook page. So I hope you like that. Again, the interview is incredible. The subject matter is amazing. Sit back, relax, check it out, and I hope you love it.
This is probably one of the most crucial stories in the journey that I've been on, and it's an incredible journey that you just couldn't imagine. So there's a town called Ormo that I'd moved to in 1996. It was pretty close after I'd moved away from the first encounter, so to speak. And this is a rural, semi-rural sort of setting. It's all acreage, and between the township of Ormo, and Norfolk, which is the next one, there's a nature refuge, so to speak, that goes all the way across. Now, to the east is the highway, which hadn't been developed just then. At that stage, it was 2 lanes each way, and beyond that was cane field. To the west, you've got the mountains that go on pretty much forever, from the top end of Australia to all the way down to Victoria. So vast wilderness. I was trying to lose some weight at night, and in the process I was going for a jog, and this particular night I was going for a jog at 11 o'clock. The path that I used to jog on was through this nature reserve, and at the time it was pretty dense, and it was swampy, and there's creeks and all that sort of thing flowing through them. The track itself, you could put your hands out both sides and touch the foliage. That's how close it was. Prior to there, you walk down through a field. There's overhead high voltage power lines, and you walk down to the bush through the track. On this particular night, I got to the entrance of the track, and I stopped. I thought, I'll make a phone call before I go for my run. So I deviated and I walked around the bush line behind a clump of trees to make a phone call. To the back of me, again, it's all mown grass up until the road behind me and an overhead street light. And it was a fair distance from the tree line to the road. And I was on the phone for probably about a good 5, 6, 10 minutes. I don't know, I can't remember. And she, with whom I was speaking, and this is a really odd part, she said, "What is all that noise? Makes no sense. How would I not hear this?" So I tuned out of the conversation, and sure enough, there's branches being felled. There's small saplings being broken over. And it just, to this day, it just makes no sense how I didn't hear all this commotion going on behind me. And I thought to myself, it's more than likely a bunch of kids that have snuck out at night, as I used to do when I was in my teens. And I thought, this is a Tuesday night. We used to do this Friday, Saturday nights. That's odd. And the noise sort of subsided. Okay, well, they found their way back out onto the track, back into the conversation, and talking away. And then there was a loud crack, a bit closer behind me. Back in the conversation, crack, a little bit closer again. And now I'm rationalising, reasoning. There's one person still stuck in there, and he's trying to find his way out. His mates have left him, they've gone. Back in the conversation. And now I'm sort of semi-listening between the conversation and what's going on behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm aware of the leaves slowly being parted like that. And you hear something, the leaves going across, dragging across a body and then closing up behind. And then there'll be a twig break. And every time there was a twig break, silence, didn't move. This is stalking.
Wow.
This is with purpose. And so now I'm no longer interested in the conversation I'm having on the phone. I want to know more about this. So now I'm totally tuned into it. And yeah, sure enough, I'm hearing a foot breaking a twig, and then every time it broke a twig, silence. You give itself about 30 seconds just to clear the air. Like there's nothing here. Mm-hmm. And now I put my next foot down, and then you hear the leaves being parted again, etc. And now it's getting closer and closer and closer, and now it's really close. Oh, so I said on the phone, I said, I think I've got somebody trying to sneak up behind me. And she's saying, careful, all this sort of thing. I'm going, I just want to know, let's find out what's on his mind. Because at the time I was extremely fit and I was boxing, and I boxed and so forth all through my life. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't terribly concerned. And as it got right to the bush line just behind me, suddenly my whole body just shut down. And it was an experience that I'd never had before. It was foreign. Basically, I just locked up.
Wow.
Just locked. I was paralyzed. I guess that's the best word for it, is paralyzed. And you try to psychoanalyze the situation. Is this a mind thing? It has to be. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. Why can't I move? And I've got this overwhelming fear coming in from behind. Like I'm feeling something. It's like I could feel an energy, basically. Put it that way. It's like an energy. Mm. And it wasn't a good energy. And my hair went up. I had goosebumps. And I just knew that I was in imminent danger. I also knew, and this is like let's just say a sixth sense sort of thing. I also knew not to turn around, not that I could, but not to make eye contact because it's going to make things exponentially worse. Oh. And I just knew I had to get out of there, but I was in a predicament because I couldn't move. And I just managed to sort of turn just a little bit and just enough to see the silhouette standing there, at least 8 feet tall. And I just got, oh Lord, what do I do? And I knew, I was basically, it was a time scale. I had no time. I had to do something. So I literally counted into my head, 1, 2, 3. Mm-hmm. You better move. 1, 2, 3, and I forced my shoulder, which forced my hip, which forced my knee, which forced my foot. Mm-hmm. And the moment my foot moved, this biggest raw bellow that you've ever heard in your life. Wow. It was enormous. And the first thing that came to my mind was lion.
Really?
That is the extent of the size of the diaphragm in this thing. Right. It was immense. And if you're thinking lion, you know what a lion sounds like when they roar. Mm-hmm. I know what a lion sounds like. But that's what it sounded like. And I've often described it as something in between a bear and a lion in one. It's that big booming effect. Mm. And all the dogs right around and all the acreages are just going bananas. And I was going, and off I went, and I ran, and I was pretty quick, but I wasn't quick compared to this guy.
Right.
And he took off after me, and the bush line went around to my left and went up towards the road where the start of the track was, and mown grass up until the road and the street line. And I am running as fast as I can. He probably started about there or so. He's come right round behind me. He's taken the bush line, and as he's running, he's just crashing through everything. Just smashing through things like that weren't even there. You should have heard it. Everything was coming down. He was felling everything. And if he wasn't doing that, you hear him self-propelling through the bush, and you hear the bushes bounce back into place. As he's running, you could hear every foot valve, bipedal, boom, 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 and you hear him launch over logs, boom, boom. And every time he made a heavy foot valve, his diaphragm would bounce. He goes, whoa, like that. So it'd be whoa, whoa, type of thing as he's running. On top of that, whoa, whoa, he's bellowing at me. And you know the difference between, and particularly when you're in the bush, if someone's talking directly at you, or if they're looking this way and they're talking, there's a difference in the sound.
Sure.
He would take his eyes off me the entire time. And now he's running beside me, like dead beside me. And he's looking at me the entire time. He's not watching where he's going. He's just smashing through everything. And he's yelling and he's this and that. And it was blood curdling. The aggression was so raw. It's like I've never seen anything like it, never experienced anything like it. And then he starts to run ahead of me. And at this stage, while he's beside me, because he caught me so fast, I'm running in a straight line. He's run from there all the way around the bush line, through bush that I couldn't walk through without falling over.
Wow.
And he's just smashed through the whole lot and done probably 3-4 times my speed. And now he's running level with me, and I've just gone, that's it.
Yeah.
It's over. This is it. This is it. This is it. I'm dead. Right? This is the last. This is my last night. I am just about to die.
Right.
And I knew at that point that there was nothing I could do to save myself. There was nothing I could have held in my hand that would have protected me. I could have had a samurai sword and a baseball bat and all these other things that some people carry around. It wouldn't have done anything. This thing would have snapped my neck like a toothpick before I had time to scream. That's how powerful it was. And that's how peed off it was too. It was so annoyed. And when it was doing this, it was like it was personal.
Wow.
I mean, you felt it. It was this energy that was coming from it, just went right through you. It was like he just killed its firstborn, and he knew exactly what it was thinking. He wanted me. And now he starts to run up ahead of me, and he started just past me. What's he doing? Because I thought at this stage, this is it. This is where I'm about to die.
Yeah.
And then he starts to run a little bit ahead of me. And what's he? Oh crap! He's cutting me off. That's what he's doing. So I've turned. I've gone that way, and he sort of lunged out a few steps. And thank God I was on open ground. I was coming up towards the street light. Oh. And he's turned around. I'm looking over my shoulder as I'm running up to the street light. And I get there, and he's turned around. He's walked back over to the bush, just at the entrance of this track. And he's turned around and just swallowed. He's just sitting there, just in the foliage, just watching. And I'm going, did you just hear that?
Oh my God.
Oh wow. So that was a life-changing experience. When you go through an experience like that and you really truly believe this is it, this is when you're going to die.
Yeah.
And by the hands of something like him, you want answers, don't you?
Sure.
You really want answers. You can't let this go.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for checking out this episode. And as always, please get subscribed. Please ring the bell so you get notified every time we release new ones. New episode releases will be every Tuesday and Thursday, as always. So keep your eyes open for that. But if you ring the bell, you won't miss it. At least providing the bell works like it's supposed to, which sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But We also encourage you to check out our other YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/paranormal portal, and check out all of our full-length videos, which including this one and over 1,000 more, where we did do 1 or 2 hour shows doing either the subject matter or these incredible interviews that we have been honored to be able to do. So check those out. Get subscribed over there. Ring the bell over there. Check out our podcast, which is Paranormal Portal. It's available on all the major platforms: iTunes, I.R, Spotify, Pandora, Stitcher, and a whole bunch of other ones. So check that out if you would too. Those are all unique shows. The podcast is unique from the YouTube, which is unique to the pieces. So every one of these channels is something unique of the others. But we hope you will continue to support us and continue to spread the word. Get involved on our social media at facebook.com/Paranormal Portal Radio. Check out the Paranormal Portal fans page on Facebook as well. But thank you all. We really appreciate your support. And keep watching, because the next episode will be out on Thursday. So I'll see you then, hopefully.